My name is Yibanathi, Youth, Lucha, Maqina. Yes, youth is actually my name. It's on my ID.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I never really understood why my parents named me Youth up until I grow older.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll understand the more I explain about myself, maybe why my parents named me Youth. But it's amazing to be here. I'm very grateful. This is a big job that I've been given to speak to you guys, to speak to youth. When I was invited here, Dr. Ricardo James said, Iba, so he's my mentor. We want you to go speak to our youth. I was like, Doc, youth at church, that's a very big responsibility. But then, as I was thinking, I remember a story in the Bible, which I think everyone here should know. There was a guy here. His name was Moses. So Moses was sent by God to go to speak to Pharaoh. Now, who was Pharaoh? Pharaoh was a king, right? Now think about the king. A king is not like a president, right? A president is very democratic. We live in a democratic country. In a place where there is a king, you dare speak against the king, because the word of the king is actually the law. So if you try to rebel against the king, you will actually be killed, okay? Now here's God is telling Moses, go speak to Pharaoh. And Moses is like, he's what? He's a shepherd. And then Moses is like, no, choose someone else, not me. I cannot speak. But God said to him, go. I will be speaking through you, right? You are not going to be speaking. I am going to be speaking through you. So those words encourage me to come and speak here today, okay? I'm hoping everything that I will be speaking, it won't be coming from me. I'm hoping that the Spirit of God will be using me to actually deliver whatever message He wants to speak to you guys. All right. So, yeah, if maybe I speak and I touch emotions or I say something that you don't like, please forgive me. Speak to God. You must know. You must know it's God that is speaking through me. Okay. Now, just a brief introduction about myself. So when I introduce myself these days, I say, who is Yibanathi? I'm nature's greatest miracle. That's what I'm introducing myself as. And I believe you as well, you are also nature's greatest miracle. And I'm going to explain what do I mean by nature's greatest miracle. But the way I introduce myself, I don't like to introduce myself based on what I do or where I'm from. I like to introduce myself based on saying I'm nature's greatest miracle. Okay, now what do I do? My daily job, I work in youth recruitment, right? So I work for a company that is called Engeli Enterprise Development. Do you guys know that company?
Yes.
Oh, I'm happy. Okay. So I'll say if you don't know Engeli, it means you've not been serious in terms of looking for a job. Because everyone here knows us as recruiting agent, right? So I work at Engeli as a skills development facilitator. In fact, now I'm a coordinator. So what I do, I develop our trainings. For example, at Engeli, we recruit youth, but before we place you in a company, we have to prepare you, to train you, so that by the time you start working, you're actually ready to grow, okay? Because we've seen young people who are given a job, but because of bad behavior, if not been prepared, you actually lose that job. So I'm responsible to run that department to prepare you how to behave well at work, how to socialize well at work, and so forth and so on. Okay, so in a nutshell, that is me. Is there any question for me so far? Okay, so another thing, okay, now you're gonna see magic now. Yes. So one other thing maybe I can share, I'm gonna be speaking about it today, is my book. It's called The Nature's Greatest Miracle. Okay, now you connect it why I'm saying I'm nature's greatest miracle. The book is saying you are nature's greatest miracle, okay? Some of us here will be lucky to get that book. I brought a few books today I'm going to be giving away. So if you happen to get that book, please read it. If you don't understand it, keep it. You will need it one day, okay? Are we fine? Yes. Okay. I'm not normally a speaker. I think just like you guys have heard, I'm more like a teacher. I'm a facilitator. So I'm going to want us to to interact, okay? Now, before we move, I'd love to ask you guys a question. Okay? I'm here to speak. If you were to stand in my shoes, okay, let me not say in my shoes. You were to be asked to speak to a group of people. What would you speak about? It's open now. We are living in a very interesting world. We are living about women. It depends. Let's go to her. Please speak. It might reward you for speaking.
Also depends what type of group.
Okay.
Or is it like for a certain type of people or event or something?
Okay, think which group would you long to speak to?
Me. Yeah, I mean, so children,
Children, speak to them about what?
the popular thing now in schools is bullying.
Bullying. Speaking about bullying.
Bullying.
That is interesting. Sipo, I have a blue bag there. Can you please bring it forward for me? Okay, thank you. So you would speak about bullying, meaning it's something that is close to you. So another question. If someone was to mention your name to someone that knows you, what do you think is the first thing that will come to their mind? Let's say, for an example, here I mention who is the most famous person you know? Musk. What comes in mind when someone mentions Musk to you? What? Rich? Rich? Okay. If I mention Malema, what comes to mind? Okay. Probably politics, right? If I mention Malema, politics will come up. If I mention Messi, soccer. Okay. Once again, my question is, if someone was to mention you to someone, what would come in mind to that person's head? We are singing everyone, Messi, soccer, Beyonce, music. Don't act now, you know Beyonce.
Yeah.
Okay. Music, right? Malema, politics. But what about you?
And news.
Yes. What about you?
Okay, so I'm a netball coach.
Okay.
So probably for that.
Okay.
Interact with a lot of children. So.
Okay. Please keep that in mind. I'm going to ask you later. But congratulations. Thank you for asking. I told you you'll be getting rewards for answering. Okay. You can move, sir. For the sake of time, let me move. Now I've titled my presentation Becoming Valuable, right? Everyone is already valuable. Okay? I just said becoming valuable. All right. Now, in my space of work, where I work, I realized something. I said we work in terms of youth development, recruitment, and training youth, okay? One of the things that I didn't mention, we also work with entrepreneurs, okay? Especially women in business. So we also recruit people who are running, especially women who are running business, and we train them, okay? One of the things that I've noticed is actually one of the things that led to me writing my book is that young people, they come, for example, let me start with young people. Young people lose opportunities right at the beginning of their career, meaning during interviews, okay? The reason for that is because young people, when they go to interviews, they beg for a job, right? You go to interview with a begging mindset. Please, I've not been unemployed. I've been unemployed for a very while. Please help me, right? As a result, that costs you, right? Whereas you should be going to interviews to what? To sell yourself. That's what interviews are for. We call you so that you can sell yourself. Make us feel like, you know, this is the person, even if you don't know everything about the job yet. But that confidence, that drive, that mindset, right? Because remember now, employers know that we are not Google, right? You don't know everything in your head. But if you have a learning mindset, then you can learn anything, all right? Now that is the first problem, that young people go to beg for a job. And I think the main problem, the main reason for that is the lack of confidence, okay? Now that is young people. Now I used to think that is the problem of young people. Up until I trained women in entrepreneurs, mothers. I trained mothers in entrepreneurs. And I've also witnessed as well mothers who are running business, losing business opportunities. Why? Because they're afraid to pitch their businesses. They can't present their businesses. They lack confidence to what? To present. Okay? So that led me to what? This is what I've just said. This is just my observation. So they lack confidence. So those are mothers, right? Lack confidence. As a result, they lose opportunities. In fact, it goes to everyone. If you run a business and you don't have confidence to present yourself, unfortunately, we're not going to know what you sell. All right? Similar applies if you have qualifications, you have experience, you have capabilities, but you are not confident to present yourself to us, we're not going to know you. Right? This is something that is very, 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 very common in South Africa currently. I witness it when I conduct interviews. I witness it when I run pitch. Okay? And that has made me to realize that this is not just a problem of lack of self-confidence. There is something much deeper here. We can say, no, be confident. But that lack of confidence is a result of something that is much deeper, especially in South Africa. Okay? I guess some of us are thinking about it now. Okay, so another thing is that I've realized youth lack direction and vision and purpose, right? We are looking for a job because we want money. Okay, am I lying now? No. I think I'm at church, I shouldn't lie. Okay. Am I lying by saying we are looking for a job because, yes, that is not wrong, right? To look for a job that for wanting money, it's not wrong in today's world because you need money to survive, right? But that should not be the main reason why you are looking for a job. You are not here on this earth just to get a job and make money, right? Remember, when you are working in a job, you spend majority of your life at work, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That is the majority of your life. So is that how you think that is your purpose in life, or you're going to spend the majority of your life for? Okay. Now that is the problem. Majority of us young people, we're just looking for a job just for that. We lack vision. We lack purpose. Now what is the results of that? The results of that is that you'll get a young person coming begging for a job. We take them, we put them at work, right? 1 month later, someone forgot that they were not earning a salary. They're used to it. Yeah. Monday. Okay, first payment, Friday. Okay? Yeah. You know what happens? You know what happens? First Friday, they destroy that salary, right? Monday, calling, hey, boss, I can't make it, boss. Oh, no. Right? I can't make it. They start like that. And then boss like, okay. It continues even if you don't have money. The other day, someone didn't come to work, didn't report. Okay? The other day, someone coming to work drunk. The other day, you are being asked to do something, you refuse. No. You know a lot now. No, this is not what I was employed for. Right? You start being picky. Right? No, I'm not paid enough to do this. You forget that by you being exposed in many things, it helps you to become more valuable. You learn a lot of things. All right? The reason why young people do that is that lack of vision and lack of purpose. Because if you have a bigger vision, you know one thing I always say about my job, or any kind of a job, the good thing about a job is not actually the salary, is that you are being paid for learning. At work, that is the great place where you can learn. And you are getting paid for learning, unlike university. But what are you going to learn if you don't know where you are going? That is the question. Even if you are not looking at a job, you are at school. Why are you at school? Right? I don't have time to go deeper in that. I wanted to challenge you in that. Why are you at school? But just to highlight, that is the lack of vision. And you can go. All right. Now, to sum that, the problem, what led to those things is actually, what can I say, poor self-concept or the lack of strong self-identity. That's what, you can't dream big, you can't have a vision in life if you don't know who you are, right? If your vision says like me, sorry I didn't mention that, I'm from the villages in Queenstown. If I define myself by saying that I'm a village boy. Right? I'm a village boy, that's it. How dare I am to dream to come to PE and facilitate and speak to radio like I'm doing now, because I'm defining myself using that, right? So majority of us, we are struggling with that self-concept, okay? Meaning who we are. But then I just want to bring your mind to a few things today. One thing I've been pondering with life, obvious here, we all want success, whatever that means to you. Why? But we don't really want success, basically. We just want good life. The reason why we want success, we think success will give us good life. But if I may ask you, what influences the quality of your life the most? What makes you happy the most? I'm going to answer for you because of time. I say here, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. Am I lying? Okay. Maybe someone here is like, okay, I see 5 billions. Let's see. Let me ask you a question. I said I'm a facilitator. Let's say I was to say, look, I happen to be Elon Musk's nephew. I have 500 million here. Okay, let's say billion. We will say million is me. 500 billion here, right? I will give you this 500 billion, but I have a condition. You are going to go somewhere in an island far away with this 500 billion and stay there alone. Or you're going to stay now with the money that you have in your account and in your pocket and have the people that you love around you. Which one do you choose? 500 billion, you leave us, go to the island alone? You're going alone? You're going alone? Yes, I like. Okay. My question is, what are you going to do with that 500 billion alone? How are you going to enjoy it? What are you going to buy? Let me ask you a question. Wait, what are you going to buy?
Hop from island to island to island.
No. We said you stay in that island. Alone. Yeah, alone.
With nothing.
With nothing, with your 500 billion, remember? No. Okay, there's no online. There's no online. But you see what you are doing now? You are going back to other people virtually. You are not alone per se. Because you are trying to connect to other people. Right? So you can say, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to have a big house. My question, who's going to build that house for you? You are alone, remember. I'm going to buy myself a Lamborghini. Who's going to make that Lamborghini? Before we think of that Lamborghini, who's going to mine the mineral that will be used to build that Lamborghini? In fact, who's going to be making the machinery that is going to be used to make that Lamborghini? Right? In fact, who's going to design that Lamborghini? Do you even know how to make a car? You know? But what I'm trying to drive here, guys, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. Granted, when you have money, you are able to spend quality time with the people that you love. You are able to travel together and all that stuff because of money. But at the core of it, it depends on the quality of your relationships. Okay? Now, the quality of your relationships depends on what? Okay, now you know this one. The quality of your relationship with yourself. Right? The quality of your relationship with others depends on the quality of your relationship with who? With yourself. Right? Now this is true. How can I say this? Some of us who've worked, or maybe we have never worked before, or wherever, even in our family, we have people that we consider being difficult. Right? We have difficult people. Right? People who don't want to associate with. People who are needy. People who don't want to take accountability. People who are not responsible. Right? People, even if you correct them, they're going to hate you. Right? Have you ever asked yourself why people are struggling to take criticism, to be criticized? If I'm telling you, you see, what you are doing is wrong. You cannot be going out every night drinking alcohol. you're going to die because of health. You think you're smart. You know? Or what else? Even at work, I've seen it at work. People are not open to be told what to do. They are very defensive. Okay, let's say you are not. Some of those people are bosses. Those who are older will know. If you've worked with what you consider a terrible boss, you'd find that a problem between two people is actually an individual problem. One of the things I do, maybe you'd know, I also volunteer at Revive. I'm a counselor there. I meet people who are married sometimes. They come, this one, the first thing when people are married, when they say the problem, we know, they say it's communication, right? But when you think about it, you go deeper. The problem is not really communication here. The problem is an individual problem. The problem is this guy does not want to be told what to do. When you go deeper to find out why he does not want to be told what to do, you'd find out his father listened a lot to his mother. So he developed that thing, not my wife. You know? Now when someone is correcting you, the first thing is a defense. Don't tell me. You know? So you've developed that coping mechanism. That is how you are reacting to the world, right? So that is the relationship that you have with yourself. That's what I'm saying. That's what happens in relationships, right? Those who are in a relationship, you will know. When some people are needy, no, you don't have time for me. Why is that person so needy? When you go deep, you will understand there is a deeper issue there. Okay? So I think I've covered that one. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships with others. The quality of your relationship with others depends on what? Relationship with yourself, right? But the quality of your relationship with yourself, to go further, depends on who you think you are. Depends on your self-concept, right? I said when I was introducing myself, I am nature's greatest miracle. That's what I said, right? Now, whoever I interact with now, because I know, I'm going to explain what do I mean by nature's greatest miracle. Because I know I'm that nature's greatest miracle, I understand everyone is also nature's greatest miracle. However, when I interact with you, I need to let you to experience me, because you're only going to experience me in life through me, no one else. You can see my picture somewhere, right? You can know me somewhere, but to experience me, Yibanathi, me, not another Yibanathi, I know the other Yibanathi. You can only do so through me. That applies to you, by the way, right? In order for us to meet you, we can only do so through you. Not your child, if you have a child, not your brother, not your mother, not whoever. That is why, by the way, you have your unique fingerprint. We can go back 500 million years in human history. Go up until Adam. Your fingerprint, that code, your fingerprint is unique, right? Because you are that miracle, okay? But anyway, that's what I was saying. Let me not go deep. I'm running now. But what I'm trying to say, whatever your relationship with others depends on who you think you are, okay? Now, these are the benefits of knowing yourself, right? If you know yourself, now I want to reflect whatever stresses that you have in life, whatever troubles that you have in life. Now, I know all of us, we are sitting here, we are human beings. There's something that we're not happy about. But I want to challenge you, go back to yourself first. Before you go to that person that is making you angry, go back to yourself. Okay, now when you know yourself, we have mental peace. You know, when you know yourself, you have mental peace because you don't fall for peer pressure. A colleague of mine yesterday, Razana, said, we're having a conversation, he said, there's peace in being boring.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Those who know, those who've discovered themselves know this.
Yeah.
Those who have not, they don't know. Because you don't want to be boring. Therefore, you want to be relevant to others. Therefore, you got to keep catching up. Because you don't want to be boring. You are not resting. Right? That is why you are so tired. That is why you are stressed that you don't have that latest brand. Right? That is why. You don't have whatever latest phone, you know. That is why you are insecure when someone else, let's say at home, they have whatever they have. You are insecure because you don't want to be boring. That is why sometimes you find yourself in trouble. You're going to places you don't want to go, but because you don't want to be boring, you find yourself there, right? But once you know yourself, right, you can come to me and say, hey, Yiba, I know, man. Some of my friends used to say that. You're a bit serious. Sure. Yes, you can go. I want to rest today. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to sleep at home. There is peace in that. And usually people learn to adapt and respect you. Do you know that people, they push back as time goes, they respect you. You also in your own circle, you know that friend that you're like, hey, Uchom is very serious. But you know when you have a serious problem, you know who to go to. Right? So that is, knowing yourself gives you peace, mental peace. If you don't have peace, probably you don't know yourself. Let's go check. I know here we're at church, right? We are always told that we are God's children, right? Knowing does not mean understanding. You can know that you're God's children, but that doesn't mean you understand that. If you understand that, you will really believe it. You will live it every day. I know in churches that is the problem we have. People know but don't understand. That really, you are God's child. You are God's child. You know? Once you get to understand that, I guess that comes with perception. Meaning perception, you need to pray for it. Okay? But anyway, without wasting time. So it also gives you confidence, right? By confidence, I don't mean being cocky, I'm the main guy, and all that stuff, right? By confidence, I don't mean being, I don't mean being extrovert. That's another thing that I need to highlight there. Being extroverted does not necessarily mean you are confident. By the way, there are people who are confident and introverted. So I'm not saying people who are extroverted are not confident. I'm not saying people who are introverted lack self-confidence. But I'm saying introverted and extroverted does not determine whether you're confident or not. Right? There are people who are extroverted. Probably some of them are your friends. They like to be at the center of attention. Right? So and so, they want to be seen by everyone. Right? It could be because that's how they are by nature. Some of them, it's a coping mechanism. We call it a coping mechanism. You are insecure about yourself. Therefore, you long for, everyone should watch you. Right? Some of it is actually a sign of low self-esteem, being at the center of attention, not wanting others to be heard. You've experienced such people when you're having group assignment at school. They don't want anyone else to come with ideas. The right one is the one that comes with you. Right? On the other hand, you do have people who are quiet, right? But they are very firm. If they set their mind to do something, they're going to do it. Right? If they say to you, no, and they're not going to argue with you. That is that silent confidence. Unfortunately, I cannot give you that confidence by giving you confidence tips. You only get it by knowing who you are. Okay? But anyway, before I dwell much on this, so sharing your capabilities with the world and selling yourself. So that's what I said before. One of the problems when people go to interviews, they beg for a job. I've not been unemployed for a very long time. We know the problem of South Africa. That is not for time for you to tell us this. It's for you now to sell yourself to us. You see, if you can give me that job, this is what I will do, this is what I will do, this is what I will do. However, you know what? You cannot sell something you don't know. Right? You can never sell something you don't know. If you are going to sell a job or somewhere, you must know first you need to know the product and you need to believe in that product. Then you'll be able to sell it to me. But your first product is yourself. If you don't know yourself, in fact, which we don't know ourselves, you are not able to sell yourself to others. Okay? when I started working, I wish Dr. Rod was here. When I was asked in interviews, what is my weakness, right? You know that also sharing your weakness is also a good sign during interview. It means that knowing yourself does not mean knowing the good side. It's also knowing the bad side. So I was asked, what is my weakness? My weakness, I know even now. I like to do things last moment. Okay, I see you. So I like to do things last moment. I told him, this is my weakness, right? However, even though this is my weakness, actually this is also my strength. Because when I'm under pressure, information just comes. I tend to be creative. You know, when you're in school, you stay for months for assignment. When is that last week? Like, where was this information all along? You know? So that is my weakness. I told him that work last moment, and I hate working under pressure, but there is a strength in this because I know myself. I've studied myself. I have a lot of other weaknesses I can share. But anyway, knowing yourself helps you to sell yourself better. Okay? It helps you to build personal and business relationships. I think I've mentioned it. When you know yourself, you know what you need from someone else. You know how you can be valuable to someone else, right? When you know yourself, even with your friends, you know when you are wrong, you know when you are right, right? This will go up even when you are growing older. You start starting your own family. You're becoming a family leader as a parent. If you know yourself, then you are able to raise a proper family. Okay? So it helps with that. Most important one that I want to raise, resilient mind. Resilient mind comes from knowing yourself, guys. Okay? In order for you to bounce back to challenges of life, in order for you to have a bulletproof in challenges of life, you need to know yourself. To narrate this, let me maybe tell you a story about myself. Now, I grew up in Queenstown. Okay, while I'm saying Queenstown, I'm rounding off to the nearest town. But I'm actually in the villages, 30 kilometers away from Queenstown. So I grew up there, very, I can say good family. Mother is a teacher, father is a teacher, right? Very supportive family, very close to my mother, right? I'm very close to my mother. Mother was, almost a mother. Sometimes when it's payday, teachers get paid on the 20th.
Yeah.
But for money, I wouldn't go to my mother. I go to my father. I'll not go to my father. I'll go to my mother. My mother didn't get paid on the 20th because she was an APET teacher. I'll know it's my father's payday, but I don't ask money from my father. I ask from my mother. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, I grew up in that stable, good family. I had an older brother, and then it's me, and then it's my 4 siblings, my brother, and then twins, and then the last born. Yes. Now life happens. I came, okay, my family is good. I want to fast. I can tell this story the whole day. By the way, this is the first time I'm telling this story in front of people like this. 2014, I came and studied here. 2020, that period, just after, just after COVID, that month when it was locked down. I was here in Kwadwesi, sorry. Yeah, it's not mine. Where I stay. So it was locked down, we're not allowed to move. When we were locked down, my brother called me. Yiba, there's a problem at home. There's an issue with my mother and my father. Deep issue, okay? As a result, my mother was not staying with my father, okay? My mother had an affair, okay? Yes. Okay, it was a wrong thing, but me being the logical Yiba, I also know my father's history. So I was like, okay, probably my father was comfortable, pushed my mother away. But this is not how you do it. You better divorce and then see your life after that. Okay? Meanwhile, I was still calling my mother, trying to get, see, we see this thing you are serious about. What is the plan? Remember, whatever you are doing, it does not only affect your reputation and my father's reputation. It affects our reputation. We have a reputation there. What is your plan? My mother, dodging the bullet, saying, when you call, what do you want? As soon as I bring the issue, like, no, I'm going to call you back now. Now I'm here, lockdown, you can't go back home. On the 11th of April, I received a call. The father has been found dead. Right? The father was found dead. Brutally killed. Not shot, not strangled, brutally killed by an axe. I'm not going to go into detail. Okay? Now, obviously, we know the background story. We are suspicious of what was happening. Okay? My mother, could you be part of this? Anyway, apparently people who were there, they did find out. To cut a long story short, my mother was arrested. Yes, she's serving now. Right? Now you can imagine, that situation, right? I told you my family is a very good family. I was very close to my mother. I was very close to my father. How do you survive that? Do you hate your mother? What do you do? Do you let your mother go? Meanwhile, your father was brutally killed like that? How do you manage that situation? What does it mean about you that your parents have been involved in this? Okay? Now, that is just the beginning. Now you can know in between us children. We are children most. There's mother, there's father, and all that stuff. But then, at that time, I was still young. Remember, there are kids that are coming after us. So now I had to parent these kids with my brother. Okay? We parented these kids. Okay. 2022, it was me and my brother taking responsibility. 2022, also my brother was found dead, Cape Town. Yeah. Now you can imagine, let's think about this. In my family, I had my father, I had my mother, I had my brother. I knew it never registered to me that one day I'll have to lead this family. Never. I knew, okay, one day my father will leave or my mother will be there, will support her. Maybe if something happened, my brother is still there. But then now everything, right? But I managed that, right? Well, now I was explaining this. Some people will still ask, how did you manage that, Yiba? I always struggle to explain this, right? Because to me it was easy. It was easy to me. At the time, when everything started, I just finished a very intense Bible course, right? At the time, I was very clear on who I am, right? I was clear that I'm Yibanathi. I was clear that I'm nature's greatest miracle. I was clear that I'm here on this earth for a purpose. I was clear that my parents, they are also God's creation. They are here for their own purpose, right? So I knew that I cannot now stop living my own life and my own purpose because my father and my mother decided to mess up somewhere. That is their own to respond. But now my purpose now is to ensure that I fulfill my purpose. Because my father did the same thing. By the way, my father lost his dad long time ago. Guess what? When my father died, we were very hurt, right? Because he created good memories with us. Because he didn't stop living because his father died. That's what helped me to keep going. So by the way, where I was going with this, because I knew who I was not my parents. I came through them, but I'm not from them. All right? If you get it, I came through them, but I'm not from them. I'm going to explain that later. But I was explaining the resilient mind. Where I'm going with these colleagues, I know here, maybe it's not your family, not your parent, it's whatever, right? Something that is shaking you now, something that might have happened to you, right? But really, 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 what is destroying you and your life is not really what is happening. It's how you respond to it, right? And it's who you think you are. All right, let's move now. We're done now with the sad story, right? Okay. Okay. Now the question I want to ask you, who are you? We've established the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. The quality of your relationships depends on the quality of the relationship you have with yourself. The quality of the relationship you have with yourself depends on who you think you are. Who are you? Okay, now it's that time where I drink water. Okay. Who are you? Is there anyone who would like to attempt that question? This is not a tricky question, by the way. I only have a few books here. Everyone else will have to buy it.
I am who I am.
Okay. Okay. I know what you are saying. What do you mean by that? For attempting. Thank you, sir. Thank you for attempting. But by the way, this is the question that you need to ask yourself. Because of time, I'm gonna move. Who are you really? Now, okay. Usually how we describe ourselves, this is how we describe ourselves. We use our name, right? I'm Yibanathi. Well, yes, I'm Yibanathi, but really there are many Yibanathis there. My name does not really get to understand who am I exactly, right? A name, I know in my culture, is basically usually what your parents wish for you, right? For example, Yibanathi, Lucha, right? So probably my parents wanted me to work with youth, which I happen to work with youth, right? But what I'm trying to say, your name is not you, right? It's part of your identity, but it does not help you to get to the core of understanding who are you exactly, all right? Some of us describe ourselves using our background, right? You know, I'm a village boy coming from a very poor family. You know, my father, my mother was an alcoholic, was a drug addict. Therefore, this is who I am. Really? When you were born, that poverty was there. How do you define yourself with the poverty? You don't even know when it started. Right? You are defining by things you don't even know where they started. That's what we do, define ourselves using our background, and is affecting us terribly in life. Okay? Now imagine me describing myself based on what I just told you. Okay? This is what we do, by the way. Your life experiences, right? Whatever has happened to you in life, the bad thing that has happened, we tend to describe ourselves using that. We define ourselves using our parents, right? Think just like I said, because your parent was an alcoholic. No, I'm a child of an alcoholic, therefore I'm not meant for great things. No, remember, you are human, your parent is a human, right? You are different, your parent is here for their own purpose, you are here for your own purpose. You are going to account for your own purpose. So you cannot describe yourself through them, okay? Now, I'm not saying here you have to disrespect your parent, right? You can love your parent, right? In fact, you have to love your parent. Yes, you have to forgive your parent. I think let me reiterate this. You have to forgive your parent. Why? Because they are human, like you, right? You have to forgive your parent. I know some of us, I've shared my story. I know people whose parents have done terrible things. They are not immune from terrible things because they are human too, right? So you have to forgive them. But one thing that you need to know, they are not, you don't come from them, just like I've mentioned, right? Your parents don't really know the real you, the core you, unfortunately. I'm standing here saying that I have kids, by the way. Yes, I have kids, 2 sets of twins.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah.
Amanda.
Yeah, nature's greatest miracle. But yeah. But anyway, I'm very aware that I'm responsible to guide and raise my kids. But I don't know those kids, right? I don't know them to the core. Because I understand one thing. Those kids came through me, but they are not from me, right? Let me make an example. Okay, I'll use MTN. You know where you buy your phone? Let's say if you have Samsung. You got your phone at MTN store. A Samsung phone from MTN store, right? But that phone does not come from MTN store. It comes from Samsung. So if you want to understand that Samsung deeply, you ought to go to an engineer at Samsung who thought of a Samsung phone, who thought of its capabilities, who thought of its functions and features. That person knows it. That is why, by the way, when you buy your phone at MTN store, the manual inside that box is not written MTN. It's written who? Samsung, the creator. Okay, now we are at church here. I'm not going to tell you where is your manual. You know your manual. Okay? the Bible, that's where you get to understand your original. But what I'm trying to say, we are not coming from our parents. We're coming from God, but through our parents. Therefore, our parents cannot know us fully. Therefore, we cannot define us basically through them. Okay? But anyway, your race, we define ourselves using race. I'm black. I'm a black man. My book, I was speaking to a relative. They were asking, okay, what is this book about? I said, my book, you know Steve Biko. Those who know Steve Biko. Spoke about black consciousness. Wrote about black consciousness. But my book is about human consciousness. Right?
Yeah.
Before I'm black, I'm human. I'm not a stone. I'm not a rain. Right? I'm not a plant. I'm human. Yes, being black is part of my, heritage. I can be proud of that. But to get to understand the core of who am I, my abilities, I ought to understand who am I and what does it mean to be human. Right? So if you're describing yourself using your race, to me, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable space. Imagine if my core identity was solely embedded in being black. Majority of men who create crimes, according to stats today, are black men. Am I a criminal? I hope not. Okay. You see, if you solely depend on your race, you can think that you are that. Or, okay, let's say if I was white, am I a racist because my forefathers were oppressors? I'm also cognizant of that. You see, by understanding being human, it also helps me not to discriminate against other people. You see? But anyway, these are the ways we define ourselves. Title, position, and all that stuff. Which these things are vulnerable, right? Tomorrow, which I think Monday, it's not going to happen. I can go to my work and there's a, what do you call it? Not resignation, but that letter that says, thank you for your service. Yeah. I'm no longer a skills development coordinator. What's going to happen now? Where is my identity? You see? So you cannot, even though those things, they sound real, then you cannot define yourself through them. Okay, I think I've spoke a lot. Now, you are nature's greatest miracle. I told you when I'm beginning that I'm nature's greatest miracle, right? Why I'm saying that you are nature's greatest miracle? You see, a miracle is something that is beyond human understanding. A miracle is something that is believed to have happened through a supernatural power. A miracle is usually something that happened once, right? I mean, you can check even in the Bible, Jesus, even though he was opening people's eyes, he didn't do it the same way, right? Because a miracle is something that is unique, right? So that speaks to you. In life, you are part of nature, but you are a miracle. Why am I saying you are a miracle? As much as we are all human here, but you are a unique human. We will never, in fact, we have never experienced you in the history of life. We've never had someone who's you. No. Maybe we had someone who has your name. But you, even your grandfather, they never had your fingerprint. You are that miracle. Today, in South Africa, not in South Africa, in the world generally, it's estimated there's about 8.6 billion people. 8.6 billion people. But guess what? If I want to speak to you, where should I go? To you alone. That is a miracle to me. Because it's something that happens once, it's something that will never happen again. You see, once you're gone on this earth, we will never experience you here. right? Once I leave this venue, probably you'll watch video or what, but if you want to speak and understand Yiba once again, you can only do so through me, right? And that makes me to be conscious that whatever I do, I don't rob you, me, because you can only experience me through me, right? I don't try to be someone else because I'll be robbing the world, me, right? So that's why I'm saying you are nature's greatest miracle. That's who you are. I'm going to expand further on that. We can proceed? Okay. By being nature's greatest miracle, what does it mean? It means you are rare. It means you are scarce. Right? Let me ask you a question. Why is money so important? What makes money valuable?
Because not just like around.
Exactly. Exactly. If everyone here can have all the money they want in their bank today, it will be useless, my sister. No guy will be bending their back, building a house for you because they have money. No one will be working on the scorching sun, planting for you because they don't need your money. No guy now will be under the mine. Very dangerous situation. You can catch diseases. They have money. Why would I risk that? If they don't go there, you're not going to have that gold watch. Right? So what makes money actually to be valuable is because it's rare. Similar like gold. Right? You're all like, your gold. You know, if I can be God, I'll just like, every corner you go, gold is available like stone. Is that still valuable? Basically, that is the difference between gold and the stone that you just saw when you came here. It's because that stone is just laying on top of the soil. Gold is there under. That is the only difference. That's what makes it valuable. Now I told you, on this earth, 8.6 billion people, you are. We can only experience you through you. You are rare. That, by you being rare, without doing anything, without helping me, you are valuable. Because there is value in being rare. All right. That's what it means to be nature's greatest miracle. Secondly, I think I've just said that you are valuable by nature and we can only experience you through you. Okay? So that's what I want to challenge you to do today. All right. The second one is you are, as much as you are nature, you are this creature that is called human. Right? You are not a stone. You are not a rain. Right? I hope we are not rain, right? You are not identifying yourself as a chicken or something. Right? You are human. Okay? You are human. Nature is amazing. I love nature. I learn a lot from nature. But being human is being this amazing nature. This nature that can influence other natures. This nature that is created in the image of God. Right? Meaning being able to think, being creative like God. Right? That is why you have a lot of dreams, you have a lot of ideas, which you are not fulfilling, by the way. It's because that God in you, that image of God, that creativity is in you. I mean, you don't have to go far to know that there is an image of God indeed in human. How can you explain that human make something that you can use to talk to someone who is in America but you are here? A phone. Have you ever thought, how is that made? Someone created that. That is a human. Because we have God capabilities. There's this big thing like this house. You can fly it there. Fly it. Right? Because you have that creativity. So that's what it means being human. Okay. Now, another thing that I want to say. Everything in nature, in life, was created for a purpose. That includes human, by the way. Something made it necessary for you to be here. Right? I know my own purpose. Because at this time, I believe, in the year 2025, South Africans will have poor self-concept. won't have a strong self-identity. My purpose is to help them to get that. Someone else know that at this time, God knew there is going to be crime in Port Elizabeth, in Batterstop, and that made you necessary. This time, God knew there is going to be poverty or somewhere. That made you to be necessary. Now imagine if, because we are created for that, I cry, right? And I complain just like others are doing. No, you shouldn't do that. You should ask yourself, what can I do? My Creator didn't create here just to cry. What role can I play? It doesn't have to be big. I mean, I know places where places are very dirty, but this guy is running a recycling company. That is not a rocket science. You go to the street, you pick up rubbish, you collect it, right? So what I want to say, going back to my question, if you were to talk to people about something, what would you talk about? That thing you told me, it is your purpose whispering to you. That thing that you care about, that is close to your heart, it's your purpose whispering to you. Okay? But that's that. So you are human, you are created for a purpose. By the way, this is what is career, called career. Right? Career is not just to make money. Career is actually being valuable to other people, meeting a need, serving other people. And other people, because we humans have created money, we will reward you with money. By the way, career has always been there before money. Do you know that? Money is new. Money was not made by God, it's made by us. Right? But people have been serving each other, planting, creating stuff, healing each other. That is a career. Right? That's what makes you to be valuable, even in a workplace. In a workplace, when you go, you need to think yourself, how can I be valuable? Or what is the need they want me to fulfill here? Because remember, if someone is paying you for the rest of your career, no one will just pay you for just for the sake of paying. No one pays you for your qualification, by the way. Even though we're told that you need to get those qualifications. Qualifications are not for you to put it there, I have a degree in what? No. Qualification is to help you to be able to do something that will help people. It's like saying if I want to employ a driver, because you have driver's license, but you can't drive. That's what happens with our qualifications. It's not necessarily the paper that is important. It's what that paper makes you to be able to do. Okay? So purpose is that. Okay, let's move very fast. Now, everything in life have a purpose. Plants have purpose. Some used to heal, some have nutrients and other stuff. Rain has a purpose. Sun has a purpose. Fly, the one that we hate. Fly has a purpose. Indeed. In fact, if there was no flies, I think there would be rotten stuff on top of the soil. It helps with decomposition. Yes, even mosquitoes, by the way. Yes, maybe one of your purposes is you being food to mosquitoes. But mosquitoes have a purpose. Part of it, I think they are food to fish and all that stuff. I'm not sure what else, but they're here for a purpose. So if those things are here for a purpose, what does it say about you being human? You are here for a purpose as well. All right. Now, because you have a purpose, you are created with a potential to fulfill that purpose. Right? For an example, what do you see in that hand there? Seeds. Right? What do you do with seeds? You plant them. Right? But I can say, I see forest there. Right? You can see seed, I can see forest. Why? Because within that seed, there's a tree with seed. And a tree with a seed, that there's a tree that has a seed. That tree has a seed that... You see? So similar applies to us. Inside that seed, there's a potential to raise a tree. Because that is the purpose of that seed. Depending on its purpose, either the purpose is to raise an apple tree, or raise a mango, or whatever it is. So similar applies to human beings. Hence I said we have a purpose. We do have a potential in us. You can move, sir. Okay. Now, many of our abilities or potential are hidden in one ability. the ability to learn. It's like a soil, right? What can I say? A soil can produce anything you plant in it as long as you nourish it. Our mind is like a soil. God didn't give us everything. Okay, now you want to be a driver. Now you want to do this. No, He gave you a soil, which is your mind, to be able to learn what you want to do. That is your greatest ability, by the way, in life, the ability to learn, and we are underusing it. Okay? Anything you can do today, you walking, you were not born able to walk. You learned it. God did not teach you to work, to learn to walk. He gave you an ability to be able to learn. Right? Whatever you wish to do now, which you cannot do, you can do it because it's hidden in that one ability, in that one potential. However, that ability, it needs to be nurtured. Like what? Like a plant in the soil. That seed I spoke about, it can grow. There's a potential to become a tree, but it needs to be watered. It needs to have the right environment. Right? You cannot just plant it. Some seeds don't grow in sand. You need the proper soil. Right? Well, it applies us to human. If you are not moving in life, can you please check your circle? The people that you surround yourself with, your friends. What do you normally talk about? What do they motivate you to do? Right? I know this. I'm young. I'm old. I'm young. You know, I'm there. I'm getting these things now. But your surrounding, I know at varsity I would have failed. But because of the friends I had, I passed. Right? A lot. So your environment also helps with that ability. First, even before you see results, maybe move from your environment. You know? What do you watch on YouTube, for an example? What do you spend your time watching? That will influence me. If you, by the way, you are interested, why do I think this way? It's based on what I watch. It's what I consume. Right? Whoever plant in you is bound to harvest. Whatever you eat, it's going to come out. It's going to manifest in your life. All right? But the environment is very important. And to cultivate it. Okay, now let's go faster to career now. I think I moved faster. But career, I said, is your purpose. It's what you want to give to the world. If you are in IT, you need to think, why is IT important? How is it serving human beings, right? If you are a teacher, if you are a chef help people to eat healthy so that, they can be happy. Chef cook for people so that families can have a wonderful time together. So whatever job that you happen to find yourself in, the first thing that you need to ask yourself, how is this serving humanity? And how will I be contributing to that? That will help you to connect your purpose to whatever job that you do, right? Now, to run quickly, how then do you cultivate that potential in you? Volunteer, right? You need to expose yourself. It's not going to come up. You're not going to just read and it must come up. You need to expose yourself. When I was at varsity, one of my weaknesses, was it my weakness? I didn't know English very well. I'm a village boy. Okay? So my English was not proper. And then we were doing presentation. I was scared in doing presentations. Little did I know, I studied accounting, by the way. So when I get my job and I'm done, I'm going to be working behind the laptop. I'm not going to be talking to anyone. But I think I was lucky because one of the things I thought was this. Some of the people that I study with here, I would hear, especially the white guys, saying, after work, I'm going to help in my father's business. Or I have a part-time at the restaurant. I'm like, okay, here, we're going to have the same degree, but they're going to be more experienced than me. Right? That's what I thought. And then what did I do? I'm like, okay, I'm scared, but I got to be doing something. Now at that time, we're told, go be a waiter somewhere. I struggled to find that job. I didn't know why. But I was also not confident in finding the job of being a waiter because I knew I'm going to have to speak to people. When I speak to white people here, English, taking orders, Hear me, I'm not confident with my English, But anyway, I foresaw the future. As a result, I got involved with varsity. varsity I became a peer helper under student counseling. Because of that, I was exposed bit by bit in facilitation. I was exposed when there's career thing, students coming to speak to them. You know, I went to workshops. I became student house committee. You know, I just got involved. Every program that was there for students in societies, I got involved. Guess what? That's what helped me to get my job. Right? Maybe I'm going to speak about career portfolio. I didn't bring it. I wanted to show you that what I'm saying is what I did. Right? Every experience I had at varsity, things I was involved in, is documented. It's in my file. Okay? So what I'm trying to say, expose yourself. You know, when you expose yourself, sometimes you're not going to see growth immediately. It's like a plant. You're not seeing, okay, the plant is growing now. No, you'll see it. Oh, man, yesterday was like this. Today it's like this. That's what happens to you. Right? But where I'm going, my job now, I present, I speak in front of people, whereas my weakness was English. But because I prepared myself. Okay? So expose yourself. That's what I can tell you, even if you don't have a job. Even at church, by the way. Be involved in things that are happening at church. Be involved and observe. Like, even if there are conflicts, you learn from conflicts. No, we didn't say eye to eye with this one. This is what happened. How did I respond to it? You know what's going to happen another day? You're going to go to a job interview. We're going to ask you, think of a time where you're involved in conflict. How did you respond to it? We are not looking for you to say, no, I was working for ESCOM. You can say, you know, at church, you know, at church, I'm involved in ministry. We usually do rehearsals. At this time, this is what happened. This is what I did. That is an experience, solid enough experience for someone to employ you. You see, so to get experience, basically, you don't need a job. You can get it everywhere for free. You volunteer, expose yourself. I'm still doing that. I mentioned now I'm volunteering at Revive. It's one of the things that I do. I'm volunteering in many places because that's where you grow. That's where you nurture your potential. All right. Join student societies. I've highlighted that. Attend work readiness programs. Okay, there are programs. Those who said that, they know Engeli, right? We do free workshops, right? Train young people to be ready for work. How do you succeed at work? We do it for free. We usually run it 5 days. It's 5 days. That's a shortened version. But when there's a client that paid for it, we do it 5 weeks. Remember, we're working with behavior here. You've developed your behavior for 20-something years. That character of yours that if you don't want to do something, you say, no, I'm not going to do. We've got to work with that for 5 weeks. You see? But what I'm saying, I've seen, that is why, by the way, I like working with young people. I realize there's a lot of potential. I've seen a lot of people who actually know things more than me, but they just needed a spark to realize who they are. I used to be like, why is this someone like this? What did I do? I didn't even know what did I do. Then someone will come, thank you, Yiba. Okay, what did I do? But I realized I helped that person to believe in themselves again. Right? Majority of the things you know, I know you know. Remember, I told you, you are nature's greatest miracle. You are human. The potential is in you. It's just that you don't know it. Okay. But anyway, that's how you cultivate it. So you attend the trainings. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe we're going to speak to the elders. If we can bring that, I'll be happy to come and do that with my team, or we can be taken, the young people, to us, and also our entrepreneurship programs. Be active and join and mingle with people. Join things, okay? You can proceed, sir. So the first one, expose yourself. No, build a career portfolio. So when you expose yourself, don't just be involved. Reflect on things. For example, in my career portfolio, we used to, let's say we have an event. Okay, today we had an event. Let's say probably took pictures. This is the picture. This is what happened in this event. This is what I liked. This is what I didn't like. This is what I've learned. This is what I think I need to improve on next time. It's still there. Sometimes I laugh when I see that career portfolio. By the way, I was helped by student counseling to build it. At that time, I thought it's one of these academic exercises. But now, it's helping me. right? So even if you don't believe some of the things that I say now, do them, right? Even if you don't think they work, do them. And then you will see, you'll call me later. Okay, so that's what a career portfolio is. Record everything you're involved in, reflect what you learned about yourself, skills that you've gained, keep photos, and write down your mission in life. Okay. By the way, we know when you write your CV, we list all your skills, problem-solving skills, going above and beyond, right? And do, you must be careful what you write in your CV. One of the guys, I heard a story, part of hobbies. He wrote his hobby. Okay, so this guy it was raining. So when he went to work, he needed to cross a river. Now this day he called boss, there was a rain, so he can't come to work. Calling boss, boss, I cannot come to work. The river is full, right? Because I cross the river when I come to work. Boss was like, my brother, here I have your CV. He says, yeah, one of your hobbies is swimming. Yeah. One of your hobbies is swimming. Please swim and come to it. So be careful of what you're saying. I've seen people who say, I can go above and beyond. And you say, okay, we want you to work until 12 o'clock. Like, no, I didn't mean that beyond. So whatever skill you put in your CV, you need to be able to support. Just like I said, just like conflict resolution or problem solving. If you're a part of church, you can use that story to say, I think I'm good with problem solving because this is what I did at church. Okay, so yeah. Now, short courses, do short courses, right? Your Udemy, there's a thing that is called Udemy. You pay there at least 300 or less, you get a certificate. You learn things there, but what is important is it also shows whoever wants to work with you that you are not just sitting, you are ready to grow. Okay? So those are the things that you can do, show your willingness to learn. You can proceed, sir. Okay. This is a very, very important one. Get a mentor. I'm not saying a celeb. I'm not saying an influencer. I'm not saying a rich person. I'm saying get a mentor. All right? I know a lot of us young people these days, we see people who are famous. Someone can be famous, but that doesn't mean they're a good role model. Right? So you need to find someone who is very principled, someone whom you know that can help you and guide you in the right direction in life, someone who can help you to develop, someone who will be able to point out mistakes, someone who can expose you to opportunities. That is a mentor. Someone once asked me, I was speaking to a radio, they were asking, what is the best way to network? I like the best way to network, get a mentor. If you know someone is already where you want to go in life, contact them. Can you please be my mentor? A mentor will expose you to places where you've never been, right? Because a mentor has already made it, already have doors somewhere. But as a mentee, a good mentor will bring you along sometimes, When they're invited, they're going to expose you to things. So my best advice to you, find a mentor. Even the top CEOs have mentors, right? Everyone have a mentor. I think that's how life is. The people that have been there, they have learned. You don't have to fall or to make the mistake they've made. You can learn from their mistakes. Start a new path. So today, first thing you can do, the most practical one, look for someone you look up to, someone who knows that has strong principles, can help you to grow, can have the best interest at heart. Ask them to become your mentor. By the way, my mentor is here.
Amen.
Yes, my mentor is here. He's my employer. All right? But anyway, find a mentor because it's going to help to guide you. It's going to help to refer you. It's going to pinpoint what you'll have to improve. Okay, let's proceed. You can proceed, sir. Okay, I think this one I also need to throw it there. Be careful of your social media, right? Now, I know we as young people, we have rights, right? No. You cannot tell me what to post. It's my social media. Right? Granted, guaranteed, agreed. It's your space. I cannot tell you what to post there. But what I can tell you, I will consider what you post when I have to make a decision about you. I'm not telling you don't post it, but I'm going to judge you based on that. Let's be honest. You can say it's not fair, it's fine, it's not fair, but it happens. All right? I remember we're doing interviews with another client. This guy was sitting here in interviews, presenting himself as this upright guy, you know. Then we're so impressed. And then this client of ours was like, no, not this guy. We're like, why, man? This guy is good. Like, while he was speaking here, I went to his Facebook. I checked. Everything is on Facebook. This is a true story. I'm not making this thing up. It's a true story. They're like, he does not reflect the values of this company. So no. Right? So you must be careful. As much as you have the right to do what you want, but you must understand the consequences of your rights. Okay? So be careful of what you post on social media. Be intentional about it. Right? On my social media, I'm intentional. A lot of people, I expose what I want. I want people to see my purpose. If you can ask anyone, probably they will say, oh, yeah, but that guy is skills development, you know? I'm intentional about it because that's what I am about in my secret life and in my public life. In fact, by the way, there's no secret life. If you have two lives, then there's a problem. There's a lack of integrity there. Okay? Then, so be careful of what you post on social media. Show the world what you're about, right? People, they know what I'm about. I'm trying my best, okay? Okay. I think what I can say, keep learning. Never stop learning. So what I say, if you studied IT 2002 and you never learned after that, you are expired. I mean, now we're talking about AI. We're talking about many other things. You have expired. You got to keep learning. The good thing is you learn at work. I think I said that the good thing about the job, more than the salary, you get paid for learning. You get paid for learning. Every day, by the way, now that I'm speaking to you, I'm practicing my public speaking skills. Every time I'm doing something, I'm practicing. Every time I do training at work, I'm practicing to become the best version of myself. Okay, so never stop learning. Why? Remember I said you are here for a purpose and you are given a potential to fulfill that purpose. But all your potential, majority of them are hidden in one ability, the ability to learn. Okay, you can proceed, sir. All right, this is where I come to an end of my presentation. Okay, the things that I've covered, the quality of your life depends on who you think you are. That affects how you present yourself at work. That affects how you engage with others, right? You are created for a purpose, right? You are here, so you should stop complaining about the wrong things that are happening in our surroundings. You need to ask yourself, for what problem was I created to solve, right? Yes, it's here, but for what? Imagine them, your Mandelas and them during that time of apartheid. They're like, yo, these guys, they have guns. You know, these guys, they have guns, they have everything. They are in government. We should fold our hands and complain and do nothing. Guess, probably now would still be under apartheid, right? But they did what they did. They did what they can. They didn't leave the world perfect, right? I say, Mandela and the people that were there during struggle, the old people before us, they never really gave us freedom. But they, what is the right word? But they liberated us, right? Liberation, let me so good, I'm at church here. Liberation is like Moses taking people out of Egypt, leaving them in the desert. They have not reached the promised land yet. It's Joseph that is going to take them to the promised land. Even them, during the time of Moses, they were like us, by the way. 40 years in the desert. Hey, maybe It says those guys, they were even thinking about cucumbers and soup. It was nice there in Egypt. Moses, you and your God were starving in this desert. They wanted to go back. Is that familiar? Wasn't apartheid better than today? Don't you want to go back to apartheid? It's not new. I said, if you want to understand the world, there is the manual about you and about the world, the Bible. These things are not new. You get liberated. Within that space, you have to be freed. Here. That 40 years, those people with Moses had to give them the laws, had to change their mindset, because they were not going to survive to the new promised land with the slavery mindset. Similar applies to us today. We are liberated from apartheid, but the mindset, we still need to work on mindset. That is why I'm doing this, that who are you? You need to be reminded, who are you? Yes, they tried their best to say, you're black, you're colored, you're white, it's fine. But as human beings, what does it mean to be human? The longer you go there, you will really, maybe you'll be the one that's going to bring change, right? You are going to be the one that is going to bring change in your area. Don't look for someone else. But now it cannot be real in your mind, but expose yourself just like I did. Meet the right people, the right environment, you will see. Okay? Are we still together? This is where I'm coming to an end. Okay, now I've been speaking. Last question before I leave you guys. Okay, still have. What is the wealthiest place on earth? What do you think is the wealthiest place on earth?
Graveyard.
Okay, let me say yes. He says graveyard.
Yes.
Do you agree with him? Yes? Why? What about the mines? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What about the mines? Graveyard. You guys said yes. Which one? Guys, come on. Just say one word, it might pay.
Doctors, there's nurses, there's all the people, like smart people.
Ideas.
Yeah, you are very smart. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm leaving home. I'm leaving now. She just said it. She's saying there are doctors, there are lawyers, there's everyone in the graveyard. Okay? But the most important thing, yes, they are lawyers, but what does she mean by they are lawyers? All the wisdom is in the graveyard. In the graveyard, there are books we have never read.
Yeah.
Because people who were carrying those books didn't believe in themselves to write those books. In the graveyard, there are phones we never used. Because the people that had the ideas, they doubted themselves.
Amen.
Right? In the graveyard, there's what? Imagine if Elon Musk,
Jane.
No. Who's this guy for iPhone? This Steve Jobs?
Steve.
Imagine if you are like, I'm a dreamer, man. Why would I think about this iPhone thing? We wouldn't have it now. Right? There are a lot of people who had better ideas than them, and they died with their ideas. That is why the graveyard is the wealthiest place on earth. Now that is the question on you. You have ideas too. You have the solutions that our generations need. You have the music that we want to listen to. You have the art that we want to see. We have the dances that will entertain us, whatever it is. We have the fashion, the clothing. It's there in you. You know it. You think about it. But you doubt yourself. I'm here to beg you today. Don't also add the wealth on the graveyard. Please don't rob us our things. Leave them behind. Leave them behind. Right? Even if you don't believe in yourself, go find help. You'll find people there who's going to help you. God will send people, but those people must meet you on the road. Okay? So think about that. Every time where you have an idea or you think of doing something and you are being scared, you must know that you are robbing us. You are a robber, you. Yes, you are a robber. Because that is not yours. You were given that to give us, to serve the world. It's not yours. It's for ours. By the way, that's what makes you valuable in life. People don't come to you because they like you. People want what you are carrying. By the way, that should make you humble. It should make you not to be too obsessed to be liked by people. People come. You don't go to an apple tree because you love the apple tree.